Good to see you, my boy.
Yeah.
Hiatus. Yeah, how you gonna say it?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute since my last shot. Since you've been in the studio. I guess you've been in the lab. In the lab?
I don't know what you call it.
You've been working though.
On the block.
Type shit. You've been working though. How your life going?
Maintaining, not complaining, bro. Staying busy, staying out the way. You know how it goes.
You finished classes? For that? Yeah, you got some classes.
I ain't taking no summer class, so that jump dead, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
How your classes go?
They went well. Finished with a 3.5.
Okay.
You know, thanks for the background.
Y'all do Dean's list? Dean's list?
I'm like considered like part-time, so I don't get
I'm
full-time
still
student. So I'm gonna take 3 classes a semester. That's all.
That's straight though. You're moving at your pace.
Well, I'm gonna be done on time. You feel me? That is the recommended route by the department.
That's cool. That's cool.
They said 3 classes. I'm used to that. You know, at K, that's how we got down. You know what I'm saying? I can handle that
It
workload.
was jam packed, but them 3 classes were straight.
Straight. How you been though?
I've been straight, man. Working, grinding, doing some big things. We got some big things ahead. You know, we ain't gonna tell them yet. We gonna say that. But yeah, man. We got some big things ahead. You know, the show growing. You know, we growing as men. You know. So that's
Mark
good.
got to step in the camera, but my baby can't hit 2
Hey,
fresh
came
today.
in the lemon pepper steak.
In the lemon pepper steppers, he didn't came 2007. He didn't came 2016 Sperry's.
Look at it.
Ooh, you better go put your feet in the water.
Bucket hat off the bucket
That
hat
boy
off
back
the
there
steps.
doing it. Mark, you doing it. How you been, brother? Go ahead and tap in. You know how you get.
Brody been working.
Yeah, it's hot out here, bro. I got on what they call them, slut shorts.
The short shorts they
Short
call them or
shorts.
whatever. Who said the slut shorts?
That's what they call them, bro.
Short shorts.
It's hot. Like it ain't been this hot in a long time.
Right.
I feel like
And it's the humidity, bro. I think it's like 54% right now. That's what it is.
that's tough.
So
I went
it's
out and worked out the other day.
Outside?
Outside. 5 o'clock. I don't know what the hell was on my mind, bro.
In the morning? Or
No, in the evening. Smack dab. It was a good workout though. I got a
bet
good
it
sweat.
was.
I low-key had to stop for a minute because I thought I was finna.
I bet it was.
I thought I was going that way. Yeah. I thought I was going that way for a minute, bro. I was like, this how I'm gonna go out, Jesus, on the football field?
Man.
Getting my work in? I'll take
That's
it.
it.
I'll take it.
That's it.
I promise.
You been keeping up with the playoffs?
Heck yeah. My boy Brian out that thing, but it's all good. I like D-Book. I ain't mad.
There you go. So who
Monty Williams, black coach of the Suns.
Right. This is
James
first,
Jones,
Is this his first time in the playoffs? I think Chris Paul said his first win series it was. He won
Monty
his first
Williams?
series. Yeah.
Potentially, I don't know.
Yeah, that's straight though.
I ain't that tapped in.
That's straight. But what I was gonna say, who you leaning towards now? Since Brian
I
out.
don't know, bro. Brooklyn tough. I like Phoenix though, cause I like D-Book.
I like they whole start. I like
their team.
Whole 8. Yeah.
I like Cameron Payne.
I like
Cameron Payne come off the
Payne,
bench
Cam
with a
Johnson.
little attitude to him. He
That
come
little
off that
ugly,
thing with
he
something.
that little ugly
He
Johnson.
look like he got something to prove.
I be like, man, get out of here. You know what's more crazy? Mikael Bridges is more crazy for them.
Yeah, he been getting off. He been getting off. Who you think winning it, bro? It's hard to stop. Well, James Harden now, but even with just KD and Kyrie, they
like,
tough.
You feel me? And then Blake wanna act like he the old Blake.
Yeah,
like
Blake done turned the clock back a little
He
bit.
dunked on Giannis. You saw
He
him?
the whole Detroit.
Man, ain't dunked not a nail game in Detroit.
He the whole Detroit,
He
bro.
get to Brooklyn, he going. I'm like, oh my god, bro. Tobias Harris the same way that played for Philly. He stopped in Detroit for a minute.
Detroit is like
I don't know, bro.
a grave site right now.
Facts.
Ain't nobody growing in Detroit.
Facts, bro.
They just might as well go ahead and rebuild.
For real. Might as well. We gotta have some bump seasons.
Julio to the Titans.
Tennessee. How you feel about that? Like, cause you know they a big run team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Tannehill can get the job done.
Oh yeah.
I think he can get the job done, but I would have wanted to see Julio go somewhere else.
Like where? Like where?
What was the other team he was thinking about going to? But not Tennessee, bro.
I mean, you gotta go where the money goes.
But was it? He got traded, bro. So he really didn't have no.
True that. So they probably gave him the bet. They probably gave Atlanta the best offer. You feel me?
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe what he need too, just a refresher, bro. To be honest, like Julio Jones, I know he kind of older. You know, he up there in age. You know, NFL wise, he had a couple of injuries, but you know, he probably got a couple of seasons left in him. A little
Absolutely,
refresher.
bro.
Feel me? AJ Brown is there. Corey Davis still there. You know,
Corey Davis with the Jets.
Damn. Yeah, I think that was last season. So who on the other side?
AJ Brown.
Then they got another wide receiver somewhere.
Julio Jones. Because Corey Davis was the other receiver. He's on the receiver the other side. He was probably the Z.
Okay, but then you got, you feel me? Always got the Russian.
Derrick Henry.
Yep, Derrick Henry. So I mean, let me show you right. Tannehill, I like Tannehill. He tough.
Decent.
He decent. He tough. He tough and he decent.
I think he get a little too much credit.
Yeah. I mean, he tough and he decent though. I like him.
What we talking about today, man?
Today we talking about what's on the agenda is defund or reform the police. Mm-hmm. Feel me? It was just something I had on my mind.
Right.
You know, when we was talking about the whole Breonna Taylor, you know, things like that. George Floyd. You know, when we revisited a couple episodes ago. So I just always wanted to talk about that because I know when it first popped up, I'm just like, my mind, I had the thought that defunding the police meant to abolish the police.
Right.
You feel me? And then that caused me to research more. Mm-hmm. So you feel me? So, you know, defunding police really just mean removing funds and just allocating it to different areas.
Reallocating it, yeah.
Reallocating it, you feel me? So I'm like, all right, you know. But then once I learned what reforming the police was, which is something I'm all about, you know, it's just improving the training and the education they receive to become a police officer.
Right.
You know, which is huge for me because I feel like when it comes to police, man, I feel like they lack in really like the human relations area.
So I was on Facebook,
right?
Dude I went to high school with, we didn't go to the same high school, but we in the same class.
Okay.
Dude I went to high school with, he had posted a status about how he was at a demonstration, a protest demonstration.
Okay.
One of the few African American men at the event.
Yep.
And he was singled out by law enforcement.
Mm.
You know, or so he says.
Okay.
And this dude pretty credible. You know,
Okay.
he's a public official. Like he's my age, but he's an elected official.
Mm-hmm.
Where he is at currently.
Right.
So I think a lot of the things he said that, you feel me, is credible.
True, credible.
Right.
Yep.
So he's at the event. He said he was singled out by law enforcement, like they was heckling him, you know, or making things harder on him than they were on the other protesters.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
His home gets broken into, and he said he returned home from the protest to find his home broken into.
Wow.
And he said that he didn't call the police because of what he just went through. How does that, if you were in that situation where you was just at a demonstration, right, you know, doing what you can to better the civil rights of people in America, minorities in America, and you go home to find that your property has been destroyed or tampered with, somebody broken into your home, violated, right? First instinct to be, or one of the first instincts would be to call the police and file a police report.
Absolutely. Because if you got insurance, you got to do that.
Right.
You know? Yep.
But he felt like he couldn't do that.
That says a lot, bro.
That does say a lot. Because the single duty, one of the single duties of law enforcement, the police, is to serve and protect. But I feel like I can't make a phone call to y'all about a situation that I'm going through because y'all 10 seconds ago was just on my head.
That's a problem. Like you said.
It's a big problem.
Their only job, well, I can say the first thing on their job description or what they're supposed to do, main point is to protect and serve.
Right. That's what they say on a lot of the cop cars and stuff. Protect and serve.
And to be honest,
right?
bro, like that's what, and I can honestly say, because I have a problem with it too. The black community, that's why we always take matters into our own hands. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, because I mean, one, that's our history, that's what we've been through, and two, it's like when we did, some people when they did try to, nothing was done.
The black community and law enforcement have a terrible relationship and have a dark history.
Yeah.
If you look back at it, right?
I mean, why was
there have been times where African Americans' homes have been, violated, right?
Yeah.
Or crosses have been burned in the front yard of their homes, and they call the police, and the police pulls up and sits there and watches the crosses burn.
Oh, let's go even further than that. Let's go to the origin. Why was the police even created from the get-go?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You look at it, police was created when you had, what is it called? I can't think of it, we'll get back to it, but, police were created to enforce. This was around the time the black slave codes, I think is what it's called,
mm-hmm.
the black slave codes. Yep, and that was right on the time, it's like convict leasing. Convict leasing was what I'm talking about. It was like right after slavery was abolished, but those slave codes were put in for when a black person committed a crime or broke a law or something. Convict leasing, which is selling to prisons and then working for not even a wage, bro, just working to benefit somebody else that owns that prison or at that time, that infrastructure.
Absolutely, black folks used to always get arrested so they can do free labor in prison.
Free labor. Yep. So I mean, if we just look at the origin of police, that's where it comes from, and then we gotta be honest. Like that's where our fear comes from. Police was created against us.
Mm-hmm.
It's the main thing. It was first created to be against us. So one, it's like, okay, if that's the case, then we always gonna have this belief, or believe in ourselves that y'all not with us. Y'all was created to be against us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, as a black community, we always take things to our own hands and go into what you're talking about. We never really call the police in certain situations. And I know some people be like, well, that's not right. You're supposed to let them do their job. But it's like, how when we've been through what we've been through with the police? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, that's hard. You never
even in matters of being a victim, we treat it like a suspect, right?
Right, yep.
Like who just want to deal with, calling the police and them badgering you and making you feel like you the suspect or like you in the wrong when you the victim or whatever you got going on.
Right. Right.
So, let me ask you this. Reform and defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been around.
Right.
It's always been around. That go back to the civil rights movement, right? But it's become more common and more relevant after, the Breonna Taylor situation, George Floyd situation, and all of those situations, quarantine, pandemic, civil rights issues, right? No, facts. But that's when people have it's really been spread around.
Yep.
Okay. So there are. I don't think people really understand how much police forces budgets really are. There are some police forces in this country, bro, that have a $500 million budget.
It's just like the Army. How we put all the money into the Army. We put all the money into the police enforcement. Okay.
$500 million budget, and people in cities are steady putting more money into the police force, right?
Right.
But what is that? What is that money being used for? Where is that? Is that going towards trainings? Do they feel like more money they get, they can pay officers, the more officers they get, the safer the community is gonna be? No, that's false.
No, you're right. It's false. And it's and I think it's because in reading, during my time reading this week, the Black Jim Crow, it's this big belief opinion that the more police officers you have in the presence, the safer the environment is, which is not true. Because, I feel like in some cases, the more you have,
it almost seems like it's more aggressive.
Right, it's more intense.
You see 1, 2, squad cars,
cool.
I'm cool,
You feel
right?
me? Yeah.
But it'd be that moment where it'd be like
3, 5,
6, 5, 7, 8 squad cars in one area, and just like,
right.
if it's not over, like, okay, so if it's at a sporting event, 10 squad cars is 10 squad cars makes sense.
Right.
Because it's probably over a couple thousand people there.
There you go.
You probably need more.
Yeah.
Right? But if we having a block party or we having a groove and it's probably like 200, 300 people, you don't need 8 squad cars.
Bro. Because you're already gonna put people gonna be uneasy, bro. It's like the president. I mean, like we said, what we've been through is already like when we see that many police officers, we like, man, already what is up?
Exactly. So immediately when the police pull up to anything, bro, you already getting tight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You already getting tight.
Right.
Whether they there to monitor the situation, whether they there just to peep the scene, or whether they there to shut it down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna get tight, like, shit, the Jake's right there.
Right.
Jake's more Jake.
And that's what I mean by, like, with me, I really, push. I'm really leaning on the reform side because it's like I said, with human relations, I work in the mental health field. So I'm always taught, I got training in de-escalation. Mm-hmm. De-escalation is key, bro, because I mean you get stop a situation from elevating just by talking to somebody, understanding them, being able to relate, understand, talking to them, learning what words to use, things like that, and just hearing both sides, bro. Sometimes you can just take their own situation, and I feel like that's what police officers in the United States lack, bro. Is de-escalation, in human relations, because
it's okay, but I feel that, and it's almost like, bro, they get to a situation where, I mean, and I'm not saying being a police officer is easy by no means. It's dangerous work.
It's dangerous, right? But
you don't know what you're gonna walk into.
But you take that oath.
You don't know how exactly that you put yourself in that position. You knew what you was getting yourself into.
Hey, that's just like me when I go work at the psych hospital. I know that I could potentially be hit, spit on, all type of stuff. I know what I'm getting into, so I can't complain if it happens.
Exactly.
You feel me?
And I think a lot of these officers out here be losing sight of that.
Right.
Like, you are there, when you show up to a scene, you are there to what? De-escalate.
De-escalate.
Figure out what's going on and de-escalate the situation.
Yep.
And figure out the best solution for that situation. Whether somebody gotta go to jail,
yep.
Whether you gotta, put somebody in the back of your car for a minute so they can understand the reality of the situation that they're going through.
Right.
Or if you just, take your ass home and end it like that.
End it like that. That's it.
But I feel like a lot of these officers get to the scene of things, or I ain't gonna say a lot, but I feel like these officers get to the scene of situations, bro, and they be tight and they be scared. So then it causes them to react in a defensive mode, and that's where a lot of things go left. Granted, a lot of the people that they interact with, as civilians, we got to do a better job of educating ourselves on how to interact with the police.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, you can ask the police, you can tell the police, I know my rights and I know this and I can do this and I can do that. But sometimes you should just shut up,
right,
and just let them do their job. But also sometimes telling them that you know your rights and asking them X, Y, and Z is needed and is what's the word I'm looking for? Necessary.
Yeah, okay.
It's necessary.
Okay.
Because, okay, you stopped me because my headlight's not bright enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Why are you stopping me? Okay, boom, why you stopping me? Police ain't really saying nothing.
Right.
Tell me what you stopping me for.
Right.
Is this a traffic violation? Do I got a warrant out or something? Like, I got too many tickets. Like, what you stopping me for?
Exactly.
Like, those questions are necessary. But at some point in time, when you can kind of see and you check the temperature of the situation, sometimes you just gotta shut up.
You just gotta shut up. You gotta be aware. Be aware of your surroundings.
You gotta be aware of the situation that's going on.
Right.
You gotta check temperatures, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's important.
You be aware of your surroundings, and then like going back to what you talked about, like some police officers can be uptight when they arrive to a situation. It's because it's just the how can I put it, the biases that they have. When dealing with a certain crowd of individuals. You see what I'm saying? I mean, let's be honest. You know, if you were taught up in a family, in a community, neighborhood, where you have biases against minorities or people of color, and then when you're arriving in a situation when there's a huge number, a huge gathering, you're gonna be tight because it's like, well, I've been taught this, and this is what I know, this is what I was taught from my main foundation, my main support system.
I feel like the situation for both civilians and officers are uncomfortable.
Right.
Both of y'all are uncomfortable in the situation.
Right.
But the officer, you are the one who has control over the situation.
Yep.
Because the law says so.
You got the authority.
The authority in the situation.
Yep. The authority. You got the most power in that situation. If we just being frank, let's be frank, like you said. And see, my thing is going off of this, and this is why I don't really lean against defunding because.
Why you what?
I don't really lean towards defunding the police.
You don't lean towards defunding.
No, I'm leaning more towards reforming instead of defunding.
Why can't you? Why can't it be both? I'm more so in the both spectrum.
Explain how.
You defund. Okay. $500 million budget. That's a lot of cheese.
Okay, I think I kind of get what you're going at. Go ahead. I'm go ahead. Yep.
Take $100 million of that. And put it in the education and the school system of the city that the police force is a part of.
Okay.
Muskegon, for example. Let's say Muskegon had a $500 million budget for the police force.
Yep.
Okay. Between Muskegon and Muskegon Heights.
Right.
They had a $500 million budget. Okay. $500 million. Budget. I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Anywho, $500 million, man.
Take $100 million of that and upgrade Muskegon High School, upgrade the elementary schools, upgrade the playgrounds around the city, Muskegon and the Heights, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Heights so run down, bro. What street is it, bro? Reynolds? It's a few Reardon. Bro, you go down Reynolds, you go down Reardon, bro. You can bust a tire. You can bust a tire and not even going a mile.
You gotta look at Barney.
That's a corner. Reardon Barney. That corner right there, tough.
Hovey, that's on point. Hume, that's on point. Yeah.
Put that money into things that will occupy the time of young people.
Okay. I get you.
I feel like if we got a $500 million budget and you put $100 million into investing into the young people, into the community, but the community would be better off for it.
Understandable.
You're going to always have your riffraff. You're going to always have your ruckus. Because there's always going to be people like that. That's life.
Some things are inevitable.
But when you give a lot of the unnecessary things and a lot of things that happen, bro, it's because people have nothing to do.
There you go.
Especially in a small town like Muskegon.
And it's crazy you say that because that's kind of what we're seeing with the generation now that's coming up. Like back when we were in elementary, we had all type of like after school programs,
summer programs,
like things like we had something to do. Like now it ain't none of that. Like you feel me? Like I remember back in the day when Muskegon and Muskegon Heights, they both did they had the free summer programs at the parks.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So you got breakfast, lunch, sit down. There was 2 people that worked, signed up to work. You had games. They even provided y'all, take y'all to trips. I know they took us to either a White Sox game. I think it was a White Sox game. You feel me? So it was just like we had something to do to keep us out of trouble. Now they don't have nothing to do. So I'm gonna do their fun now. Our fun now back in the crib is getting into stuff. You feel me? Bad stuff. Doing bad stuff. That's our fun. Like that's all we see. So that's all we know. So that's what we're gonna do.
Take some of that cheese, bro. Like here's an idea that I have that you could do that they could do with the money, right? I'm always for having like a community center. Like we got a Boys and Girls Club, but it's really not like a large Boys and Girls Club. Like we don't have like a full dedicated
like
building.
something if you seen like in Detroit or around.
Yeah, like a full dedicated building to the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
So we have one.
Right.
Build another community center, right, where people can be employed. Kids can come and get 3 meals a day, get some education. You know what I'm saying?
Ryerson would be a good place for that.
Well, that was one of the sites. I used to work down at the center, bro, for the Boys and Girls Club. That was one of the sites that we had. We had multiple sites, and that was one of them. But yeah, it's a perfect spot. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of land down there to build something like that.
Right.
Right? But let's put an emphasis on education.
Okay.
if you are a student, right, who went to college, and let's say you finish in 4 to 5 years, and you got student loans, take some of that cheese that the police is getting, and pay some of these kids student loans off.
Facts.
You ain't got to pay the whole thing, but knock off 30% of that student loan for them. That's a huge help.
You right, and I mean you absolutely right.
30% of student loans.
That's what they do with the police. Like, we'll send you here for free for training. You just gotta dedicate 2 to 3 years, 2 to 4 years with us, and we'll pay for all your training and all that. You absolutely right. I get that. And now,
or it be jobs where you come work for us. We'll pay for your second degree.
There you go.
And stuff like that.
Stuff
you know
like
what I'm
that,
saying?
bro.
So it should be programmed like it should.
And
with $100 million, with $100 million, Kalamazoo has the Kalamazoo Promise.
Right.
So if you go the longer you stay,
K through 12.
the longer you stay in Kalamazoo public schools, the more opportunity and the more money you can get.
K through 12.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Going to
what
any
rap-
in-state school.
That's what good rap is. GRPS. You graduate from GRPS 2 years.
Muskegon got a promise, but you can only go to MCC with that.
Yeah.
Like you gotta go to MCC to get that cheap to get college paid for.
What's that? The 2 years?
And that's 2 years. That's an associate.
I think that's good. They should advertise it more though.
Yeah, because that's really something that's like not really known for real.
For real.
But go ahead, bro, and put that cheese towards a Muskegon Promise, bro, where any kid that went to MPS schools or, you know what I'm saying, Muskegon Heights public schools can go off to school for the free ball.
I mean,
all you gotta do is pay for room and board and your meal plan.
And I wouldn't even in school. I wouldn't even
whatever
say
extracurricular you want to
trade
do.
school. Let's do
Trade school.
You go get a trade.
That's what I want to see with the when I hear defunding the police. That's what I want to see. I want them to reallocate the funds, bro, into the public school system, into the city.
I would say So mine would be reallocated within the reforming. So taking the money from. Let's not spend so much money on buying all this armor for the police. Like buying more guns, buying all this high tech stuff. All this high-tech armor and stuff, but they ain't really getting nowhere, you feel me? It's just making people more afraid of the police when you arrive on scene. Put it towards training, you feel me? Education, like you said, things like that. So I absolutely agree with you now that you broke it down like that. I would have to say, I would probably fall in the middle if you put it like that, you feel me? But totally defunding the police, and putting it somewhere other than the areas we talked about, I ain't really like that because I feel like it's not making any improvements to the matter on hand. You know what I mean? So I would have to agree with you.
Most definitely.
Facts.
Most definitely.
I like how you put that.
And then the reform of police, like you said, the police was established to basically, and I got to do my own research on this too, so I can have a little bit more knowledge. But you said the police were established to
enforce the black slave code.
To enforce the black slave codes and to police blacks, right?
Minorities,
That's what the system. That's what the system was established, and that's the foundation of the system.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that was serving and protecting was also out here burning crosses and wearing white hoods.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the history of a lot of these police departments, right?
Right. And don't get it. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it wrong. Like we're not saying. We're not really just pointing a finger, but it's hard for them.
But this is the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth.
This is the truth. This is real life. Ain't no running.
Running from it. But we also understand that's also the environment that they grew up in. So it's like they really didn't have a choice to branch out and let me be able to see this point of view or this individual. Let's say Caucasian police officers that grow up with biases towards minorities, or like you talking about that grew up burning crosses. That's history for them. That's tradition. That's a family value that's probably been taught through history. So they get born into that, So I feel like we learn. Education starts at an early age. We see kids out here 4, 5, and 6.
A lot of the things you taught everything.
Everything
that you. And you even said it before, indirect learning.
Yep.
You feel me? Everything that you are, your physical being, your being is taught. You taught that. You taught how to walk.
Right.
You taught how to talk.
Right.
You taught how to think. You taught how to, when white folks was not grooving with black people, they were being taught that. That's what they were learning. Like whether you physically, verbally say, you gotta hate such and such, or you just like such and such.
Right.
You ain't gotta say that verbally. I can see by your actions. I can see a sermon, right?
Right.
I can see by your actions, this is how you treat these people, and this is how I'm gonna treat these people.
Absolutely.
You know? And this is how, and for black folks, right? Because by no means are all police officers bad. I got a family member that's a state trooper. Love him to death too.
Yep. We both got family members.
Right, he's not no bad officer, bro. He does his job and he wants to get home every night to his wife and his kid and his sons, right?
Right.
But black folks, on the other hand, too, or minorities, whoever, civilians, they are taught at a young age, excuse my language, fuck the police.
Police is not who you want to be. And see,
You don't never want to be the Jakes. You don't never want to be the, you feel me, the rat talking
But what we gotta understand, bro, is like you said, bro, we got roots, we got family members. Like, of course, back in Muskegon, bro, your uncle's a police officer, my uncle's a police officer. They've known each other, and it was like just sitting down here in the stories, like, oh yeah, that's Mr. Such and Such, he's a police officer. Whenever we get in trouble, he'll come pick us up, put us in the back of the car, take us home to our mama. You feel me? Like, because they knew my mama, or my mom would tell them whenever they in trouble, get them right, because it's the community. It takes a village to raise a child. You feel me?
But
So we had people in our community become those individuals, those officers, and that's what we got to get back to, bro. Like I know that's what we taught.
Facts, but the system is so skewed,
right?
And it's so tainted, bro, because of its history.
Right, and it's hard for us.
I was just talking with somebody the other day about this, bro. It's like people join the police force to say they want to make a change, but it's only so much you can do when you're a low tier officer.
Absolutely.
Right? And even within that system, it's hard for minorities to progress and to be chiefs of police.
Absolutely.
Unless you're in a predominantly black community.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and even then, bro, it's tough.
It's tough because you still got people above you.
Exactly.
You still got people above you. You know, that's Pops always talk about that. He always educate us on that. You feel me? So you got people above you, you know, that don't want to see you be successful. It's life, and that's what I tell all my, my work at the hospital, all my patients. Like, hey, when you get outside here, bro, people gonna push your buttons. They don't want to see you be successful. You gotta understand that. But you just gotta keep pushing. You know, be you. Let nobody change you. You know, just know who you are. But you know, like you said, it's hard, man.
The police system has to be reformed.
Right. And reallocated.
And it has to, and the funds have to be reallocated.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to reforming the police system, bro, like, I wouldn't even know where to start.
I don't either.
To reform the police system.
You really gonna have to start at the top. If you think about it. But it's gonna be hard to get to the top. Cause like you just talked about.
Okay, so I watch TV, right? I was watching The Shot. You watch The Shot?
I used to. I know. Yeah.
So in The Shot, the mayor of Chicago was like, you know, he ain't straight. He a little crooked.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a situation in one of the episodes, you know, a dude, a young man that he close to or whatever, was profiled by an officer and then was beaten up unnecessarily.
Yep.
Right? So he proceeds to go to a press conference and said that he is, without a doubt, completely defunding the police. The Chicago police, he's defunding them. All their funds are no more. So it was people in the community who decided to start their own police force. Or neighborhood protection.
Neighborhood watch, like a
neighborhood watch. But instead of calling 911, call this number and we gonna pull up.
There you go.
Now, you said originally that when you first heard of defunding the police, you thought it was basically meaning the abolishment of the police, like get rid of the police system as a whole.
Right.
Right. And then watching that episode, even though it is TV, it's kind of it correlates and it's real.
There you go.
Because I was thinking, right, if we was to start a police force, right, we would start a neighborhood watch, or you feel me, a public safety.
Yep.
And we get a call and we got to show up to the scene, right? what is our training?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that the police aren't necessary. The police are necessary because it's been a system. It's been a system for a while, and trying to use the right words. It's what we know, right?
Right.
So I wouldn't necessarily. I'm not for getting rid of the police system as a whole, but the reform about it is these officers have to get more education, right? And they have to get more education on, I feel like, the roots of the police system.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to get educated on the communities that they serve in. Do these officers really understand the communities that they serve in? Right?
No, because
if we in Muskegon, bro, in a low income neighborhood, and you get called to a scene, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what's going on in that house.
right.
Ain't no telling what bills not getting paid. Who tight for money? You know what I'm saying? Who on drugs in that crib?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if you know this, if you are an officer, you educated on the areas that you are policing, then you should know how to move accordingly, bro, and how to de-escalate situations. So I feel like it's got to be some psychology taught to these officers.
Absolutely. No.
And I'm not sure if that's happening. I said, I haven't done my research on that, but
I'm gonna tell you why. So when we talk about the training, I looked up a little bit of the training. The police academies in the United States, the training usually is up to 21 months. Right? No, not 21 months. 21 weeks. I got that wrong. 21 weeks. If you look at Europe, there was an article I read. Europe, the training is 3 months. If I'm correct.
In
No. Let's see, 24, 12. I think it was, no, I take that back. I think it was 3 years.
in Europe,
In Europe. It's 3 years compared to 21 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So their training off dribble, us just doing the comparison, just looking at the numbers, we already know they offer more. Because it's 3 years training. You know what I'm saying? So they able to go more in depth. I didn't really get into the details or specifics of what they train. But I just know, like, off dribble, if you look at it, it's like, dang, I'm already receiving more education just because this program is longer. You know what I'm saying? And then going back to what you talked about, like, those individuals, officers, understanding their communities, they don't, because most of them come from outside the community.
outside the community, absolutely.
Like, right? Because we look at the recruiting, like we talked about a few moments ago.
Well, the
We
police
pick you up, we pay for you to go train, and then you come do 2-3 years here. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
the policing, but you said a lot of these officers are coming from outside the community, outside the community that they're policing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But those inside the community, you know what I'm saying? Lil Durk said, career dad, school, never be a policeman.
Right.
That's really like
That's
the
what we
thought of people in the neighborhood. Like, I remember at one point in time, everybody say, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a doctor. Ain't nobody saying policeman, firefighter, no. Ain't nobody saying policeman no more for sure.
We saying athlete and rapper. That's what
Ain't
it
nobody
is.
saying policeman.
Athlete and rapper, which ain't nothing wrong with it. You feel me? But at the same time, if we want things to change, we understand we have to put people in those roles to make change. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, yeah, Lil Baby does a lot of community. Feel me? But he doesn't make the rule. He doesn't sit in that office where he can write on that paper, oh, I think we should make this change. You feel what I'm saying? So we gotta understand, as a black community, bro, we have to push, you know, and educate our kids to understand it's okay to be, you know, a mayor, or it's okay to be a police officer. You feel me? Because of what we're going through now. I know people hate to hear it, but it's the truth. We have to, bro, because that's what we got away from, like you talked about. So yeah, bro, you're absolutely right. So you saying it's basically a two-way street, because most of us just have it as it's a one-way street, it's solely on the police.
It's absolutely a two-way street.
I like that. I like that you put
It's
that
a
out
two-way
there.
street for sure, but the police are more so, they should be held more accountable.
Absolutely, because they have the more authority. They have the most power between. The most power between
Between
the
the
two.
two, yeah, they got the most power.
So I absolutely agree with you, for sure. Man, this talk went a lot deeper than I expected, man. I like that. But then people gotta understand, bro.
I just, I just want to see better, bro, and I want to see better for our people.
For our people, that's it. That's all we want.
I don't ever want to be in a situation where like my man's who got his house broken into, he feel like he can't call the police.
There you go. For real.
You know?
You're absolutely right.
I hate having to be out in public, you know what I'm saying, and then the police come around, and now I gotta change how I'm moving. Because my mama always say, you don't never get them a reason.
Right.
They already this.
You're the reason.
This
you are the
is
reason.
enough.
You're the reason.
You don't want to get them nothing more.
Right. You are the reason.
You know what I'm saying?
You are the reason.
Like that.
It's to the point where now you absolutely, like we talked about episodes ago, you absolutely have to think before you leave your house. Like, let me understand where I'm going, what I'm about to do. Like, I mean,
man, I was at a party, bro, and it got a little aggressive. It got a little strong in there, man. You know what I'm saying?
We got to rub elbows a little bit.
Look, I was holding the shorty back, bro. She was trying to scrap, bro, but I'm like, shorty, like, listen, like, if the police want her, I'll let you go. But the police are here. You don't want to get it. You got to be smart. You don't want to give them no reason to put you down, because they will.
Because once they get you in the system, it's hard to get out.
It's hard to get out the system. You got to, and you know, y'all know it's crazy. You got to pay to be in the system.
Man, tell them, preach.
You ain't in the system for free.
You paying.
You're paying.
You paying
to
be in the system.
And I ain't got no more coins to get to nobody else.
And our tax dollars supposed to be taking care of that. So man,
you paying to be in the system. When you on probation, you gotta pay. You gotta pay to be on probation.
You gotta pay.
So I give them an opportunity to put you in that situation.
Man.
We gotta be smarter. And I hate it because white folks can get away with it.
True.
They can get away with acting the ass in public.
Hey.
But as soon as Negroes get to acting the ass in public, bro, it's World War III. It's Armageddon.
Come on.
Lock him up, throw away the key.
Yep.
Teach him a lesson.
Or put him down.
Put him down. And that's the reality, bro. This is not just lip service. This is us three. This is shared experience.
And see, this is the conversation that we're not having in a household that we should be having. I understand people are like, well, we really shouldn't because it should be equal, but it's not. So we need to have these conversations in our household. You feel me? In our community. Like, we need to have this conversation. Because if not, we just, you feel me, letting it go on, things never change. You know, we want to say something when something happen. You feel me? Nah, bro, we gotta keep it going. We gotta have these conversations. That's the only way to make change is gonna happen. We gotta have the conversations and be active. Get into action. We'll be straight up.
There needs to be a coalition or a joint group
You speaking
of police and citizens, bro.
Speaking old terms.
Like every community should have that. It should be a few representatives from the community and a few representatives from the police force.
Oh, like we had one. What was it? It's like a advocate for people that can speak to the police.
And there needs to be quarterly meetings.
You're right.
And the quarterly meetings should be between the police force, the representatives of the community, and the elected officials in the community. And it should be talking about that reallocation of funds.
That's
or the allocation of funds, right? And it should be talking about, it should be a dialogue between,
because
it should be a dialogue between the representatives of the community, police force,
they need
and the elected officials to understand what's really going on.
Right. They need to hear us. They need to hear from us. Like you said, many of those police officers don't come from the community that they're serving. So
be police officer, be Muskegon PD, but be living
all the way from the east side to the suburbs, the east side, or
all the way north Muskegon, like
somewhere.
You know, like so you don't lay your head in this community, and you policing it.
The people that may come from here that are above you,
and that's the same.
They think they know what's best.
And that's exactly, and that's the same thing with the teachers too.
Same fact.
A lot of the teachers I'm gonna use Muskegon because that's where I went. A lot of the teachers that teach in Muskegon public schools do not live in Muskegon.
That's facts. That is facts, bro.
And that's like.
And we got our few, but understand they on their way out the door. Feel me?
It's too far few in between.
Right. And I see that at the school. If you want to work at the school, I'm like, bro, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what someone's complaining about.
I had a teacher, but that lived in Grand Haven. You living in Grand Haven.
Yeah, you coming all the way out to the ski.
You coming to ski to teach these kids who barely
It's a different
barely
environment.
slept last night.
Right. It's a different environment.
And you want to not cuss out these kids, but you want to, think these kids
That's
is
what,
bad
bro.
kids. But
Yes,
you don't understand the
like-
life they living because you're not in the community that they living in.
Right, like,
You
hit
take
it
your
right
ass
on-
on.
I can't even say it.
You
You
take
hit it right on
yourself
the head.
25 minutes out the way to go live on the lake and come to Muskegon Public Schools where shoot 'em up, bang, bang, and them.
you gotta understand. I mean, you hit it right on the head because it's like, Daquan might not have slept last night. You feel me? Cece might have had to, you feel me, wake up early morning, get all 4 or 5 of her brothers and sisters dressed.
Exactly.
You feel me? My Mike probably ain't had nothing to eat this morning. Probably ain't ate since yesterday morning, early yesterday evening. So how can I concentrate when I'm starving? When I'm hungry, I ain't had nothing to eat. You feel me? I had to wake up extra early. I'm basically taking care of my siblings. Like, you feel me? People don't understand.
It's a lot
that.
of reform that gotta happen in a lot of places, and it ain't gonna happen overnight.
You right.
And we not expecting it to.
No,
But
it takes time.
there does need to be a step in that direction, bro.
Absolutely.
If I'm the man to do it, no, not right now, at least.
Or facts. I mean, it's probably not even.
But it's people in positions right now that can do it,
Right.
and they should be trying.
But we do also, you're right, we do gotta try as a younger generation because, like they say, we are the leaders for tomorrow. It's crazy because I already look at the generation, under us as the leaders for tomorrow. But low key, we still leaders for tomorrow too. So you're absolutely right, bro. We gotta put that out there. Man, that's all you got for today?
Yeah, man, good.
That's a good talk, man. That's a real good talk. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Always, man. Y'all stay tuned. You feel me? Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook.
We got a Snapchat now?
No, we ain't got no Snapchat now. We ain't
When
there
we get a
yet.
Snapchat? Oh,
When we get
shit.
Snapchat and TikTok, when we gotta get Snapchat and TikTok,
I'm not using no
TikTok. You can how to get
TikTok.
it too.
I got a TikTok. I'm just not using it.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, yeah,
I'm not,
YouTube.
I watch TikTok. I don't make them though. You make TikTok? I know you and the boys be going cool
They
with
go
TikTok.
crazy.
I know y'all be going cool.
They'll learn how to do a TikTok before me. I'm like, bro, oh yeah, this is crazy, bro.
They got their own with their mama and stuff.
Man.
They go crazy.
She done started the video, posted it, hit the little dance routine. I'm like, bro, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, bro. Yeah, that was
We dropped the
talk,
episode?
Huh? Yeah, we dropped it. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
bro. So go then.
Episode 14.
Man, go tap in.
Man, it's out right now. Part 1. You feel me?
Go
Part
see all
2
of
coming
them.
later. Go see all of them. If you ain't seen all of them, man, just go back and
Go,
just start
just watch.
from the beginning.
You ain't got nothing to do.
One, you ain't got nothing to do. It's the summertime, especially.
You sit all day on the couch anyhow.
What?
You can get 1 minute of your time. That's all.
What was the name of that company?
Make the call. I forgot, bro, but you sit all day on the phone anyhow. Just get up.
Average.
Make the call. Average.
Average. That's what it was. Average.
Steve procrastinating
Dog had-
over and
He had the
over.
big hat turned to the side, you feel me, with the beater on.
Yeah, my man said,
Sit on the couch by
just do it.
Just do it. Oh yeah, man. What's up?
My baby BJ so ICDC.
That's Lil Romeo ICTC. Who went?
Who went in that first? Bow Wow.
Bow
Bow Wow, duh.
Who went it out of Bow Wow and Big Soulja? Big Draco.
What?
Who went it out of Bow Wow and Soulja?
Bow Weezy, what you talking about?
But you know, Soulja said he started everything.
Man, like listen, I'm thinking about Draco, Big Soulja.
Drake. That boy said Drake.
Man, y'all better stop playing with Bow Weezy like he didn't have y'all out here. You feel me?
Bro, stop it. Right. Let me what? Let Bow Wow. You just don't know the way
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
shake
yeah, all
across
that.
the floor. Stop it.
Shorty like mine.
Man.
Yeah.
Bow Wow gotta run. Then when he hopped in his bag on the mixtapes too, the green light, remember green light? Green light, yes. We gotta get Bro
Yo,
Hill.
boy.
We gotta get Bro Hill.
Yo,
We
boy.
gotta get Bro Hill. Hey,
Yo, boy.
Hey, he gonna
y'all
go back to
showing
the
your
crib.
age.
He gonna go back to the
Y'all,
crib today. He gonna, oh yeah, this gotta go on this.
Look, y'all showing your age, boy.
That's green light 1,
Man, y'all
2,
is showing
3.
your
Some
age.
hits on the
Man, he had some hits.
Y'all
He gonna get
showing
some
your
hits.
age. Man, let's get up out of here, man.
Yeah,
So we
man,
up
like
out
you
of
said,
here,
y'all
man.
keep
So
following us,
tune in.
man. We appreciate y'all.
Facts,
Follow
man.
us
Tune
on
in every
Thursday.
Every other Thursday.
Every other Thursday. We might end up picking it up too. We never know. So that's why you
We
gotta
just
stay tuned.
trying to get ourselves right, man.
Right.
That's all. We still learning, but that's her philosophy. We out. Catch y'all in the next one.